Yo, guys, what's going on? LuckyRave is back again to give you guys my live stream discussion slash review on Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, chapter 178. Guys, first of all, let me just say, even though I did do my catch up stream, even though I did that, and that was only relatively 4 chapters I have to catch up on. It feels good. It feels really, really good to just come back and talk about just a singular chapter of Fairy Tale. I mean, the last time I did this, like really looking back at the date, because I have it pulled up right here. So the last chapter I did, which I mentioned before, was 173, and that was like the tail end of November. Not even wrong here. That was like literally like the tail end of November. So keeping that in mind, like it's wow, like yeah, like damn near 2 months since I've at least tackled a singular chapter. But this chapter, though, OMG. And let me mention this right now because I'm going to address it when I get further down into the stream. But Fairy Tale Hunter's Quest of Volume 19 came out in December, right? That covered up to 171. And if you've noticed a pattern for a while, each of the 100 Years Quest volumes, technically this is just Hiro Mashima in general, but like any manga of Hiro Mashima, usually for volumes, it's like nine chapters per volume. And that's been his trend for like the longest time. So if we look at, say, the past few volumes, okay, volume 17 ends on 153, volume 18 ends on 162, 19 ends on 171. This right here, 178, is not the penultimate chapter. It's the second to last. No, okay, that's second to last. It's the third to last chapter. So 179, that is going to be crazy. Okay, that's going to be super, super crazy. But we'll dive into that discussion here soon. Let us actually dive into what the content of the chapter are. So 178, the key to a new power, with Kyria in what looks like to be a wedding dress. I mean, you can tell it's a wedding dress given, like, the outfit, the flowers, her being a bit blushy. I mean, the question is, who's she married to? Loxus? It's the only person I can think of. But we know that just for, like most of the time, you know, character are character covers for chapters don't usually hold a lot of weight, technically speaking. But you never know with Hero, okay? And this is something I started catching on with Eden Zero. Because anytime this man does official art for anything, that usually insinuates something, okay? I mean, dude, go back to the first chapter of Fairy Tale, okay? If you look right underneath Natsu's foot, it says END. Now, how far ahead he planned that, which I want to say he didn't really plan that off, like, since the beginning. But I think that is kind of coincidental that, he has END written underneath Natsu in the very first chapter. And he kind of goes on to say that that wasn't exactly planned since the beginning. So I just find that fascinating. Like, wow. Okay. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe this is setting up something for Kyria. With her and Loxus, perhaps? Maybe? I don't know. But get into the actual content of the chapter. So we left off with the last chapter with Ignia like blitzing past Natsu. He didn't even acknowledge him. He just went straight. And that's where we are right here. Natsu catches up on this. And he's like, wait, that jerk face, he totally ignored me. And Happy's like, well, what do you want to do, Natsu? And Misfortune mentions, you two go to Dragmail like you planned. I'll go after Ignia. And Happy's like, yeah, but it's too dangerous for you to go alone. And Fortune just says, I'll be fine. We're on the same side. I think he'll at least hear me out just a little. To which Natsu says, but why do you get to decide that? I'm going to beat Ignia. And Fortune kind of gives him a good reasoning behind that. She mentions this. I know that, but you can't beat him the way you are right now. And he's like, what? Bestia, the top ranked member of Fire and Flame, has special flames. If you can eat those, it might awaken your power. Now, that's a very specific line here, okay? She says it might awaken your power. So we know Natsu's a fire dragon slayer, right? We know about that. We've known about that for a long time. But what is the other thing Natsu is? He's also partially demon, right? He technically was derived from the Book of E&D, from the Books of Zerath. So, given the fact that she said it might awaken your power, and 100 Years Quest is technically teases, like even during the Mercphobia, even like during the Water Dragon God arc. Like, remember when Natsu ate Ignia's flames and he kind of lost like his self, not self of reason, but like his sense of consciousness, if you will. To where all he could think about was, I need to eliminate him until nothing's left. The bone, like the body's still there. It has to burn the ashes. Like that was definitely some E&D talk right there. Okay, so I do wonder if what Misfortune is saying will lead into the reawakening of E&D. I mean, and this has been a thing I've kind of had in the back of my head for a while, is that E&D definitely does need a bit of a redemption, okay? Look, if Uranus is getting the second chance, I definitely think Ian. Okay, technically Uranus was 100 Years Quest, but listen, if God Serena can get a comeback, I think 100% E&D should make a comeback. I mean, look at Acnologia, for example, okay? Acnologia, technically, yeah, he's gone. In technicality speaking, Acnologia is gone. And in his absence, we have Black Wizard Ferris, okay? Who is kind of taking on the mantle of Acnologia in her own way. But she goes on to say this: it might awaken your power. The power to make a prison of flames. Listen, I'm gonna say it here right now. Mark it down on this live stream discussion, okay? Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, chapter 178. Okay, live stream discussion / review. You've heard this straight from LuckyRave. Okay, so the Prison of Flames. I think 100% that will probably be a chapter title. 100%. That will burn everything up. Okay, now you can kind of see the expression on Natsu's face, and here's the thing: this is early on Natsu. I'm pretty sure he'd be excited, but this Natsu here, he obviously Natsu has seen some shit. And we've known that for a long time since the reveal of E&D from Zera. Like that is obviously saying a lot, right? And you could really tell, like when he did, do what he did to Lucy. Not like that, but you all know what I mean. Like when he unconsciously, like used that power from Ignia, and Lucy was trying to suppress it. You could tell that whatever Lucy was able to do, she brought him back. But again, it took a lot, and I mean a lot, out of Lucy for that to even work. So what I think is going to happen is that when we get to this part in the story, is that he's going to find a way. Like at first, it's going to overwhelm him. Obviously, I do think that's still going to be a factor. It's still going to overwhelm him, but I do kind of wonder, what if we get like a little bit of like an inner battle of like self-control between Natsu and Ethereus Natsu Dragon, like subconsciously speaking, right? And ultimately, what I think it could take is that the two sides, you have Natsu and then you have Ethereus Natsu Dragon, both kind of reason They come to an understanding and like they become one being. Like subconsciously, like it becomes less of a there's two entities. Now there's one person. You know, again, E&D has kind of been like dormant for a long time. You know, there's that. But we cut over. Speaking of other worlds, like we're here, and it was Ferris and Bessie, and Ferris says, "Oh, what interesting magic! I sense teleportation and space magic, and just a hint of dark magic." And then Bessie's like, "As I told you, I wouldn't do to release great darkness in the real world." And you obviously get, Black Wizard Ferris like kind of smirking. Cut over to Urza and Wet having their battle. Same thing with Midnight and Zero. Same thing with Cobra and Blade. With Serrano and with Damon. Likewise with Merity and Gate. And with Racer and Birdie. Like, they're having their fights. Richard and Gaia having their fights too. And then, amongst all of this, this is where the crazy part comes in, okay? This is the part, like, if things were already kind of crazy, and we could speculate a lot when it came to Natsu, right? Natsu's part is like huge speculation, huge speculations. But this part set a course for the chapter, okay? As I was rejoicing over my reunion with Aquarius, obviously this is Lucy narrating again, and we cut back over to her. Fights were going on all over. You see her having her discussions with, Suichi and Mercphobia. Aquarius is there too. And he goes on to say, so to turn the people of the continent into dragons. And speaking of that, first of all, let me pull up the chapter real quick one more time. And yeah, so that whole conversation's going down, and Caramel says, well, actually, is it Caramel? Yeah. Ignia created a giant lacrima in each part of it. Yeah, so Sweden mentions about the people turning into dragons of the continent, and then you have Caramel saying Ignia created a giant lacrima in each part of it. Then Mercphobia says, no, Doggermug probably made them actually. He and Ignia go way back. And Lucy says, I have to go. There are other giant lacrimas left. And right as that's about to happen, Mercphobia just says, wait, please. And this part, oh my god. This part says so much, okay? He says, now that you've been reunited with Aquarius, you might no longer need this, but please, take it. And Caramel notices, she's like, wait, what is this? And OM freaking G. When he said this, I was thinking to myself, bro, anime onlys have no idea what they were expecting, okay? I thought, listen, Lucy, we all know 100 Years Quest has done wonders for Lucy, okay? It's done a lot for Lucy from a combatant standpoint. Hell, the original series, right? You go all the way back from the beginning. From where Lucy started off to her at the very end of Fairy Tail, pulling up the fairy sphere, gathering everyone together to take down Agnologia. Like, that is a huge. To be fair, that was a combination of her and Natsu, but still, that was such a feat. That was such a feat for Lucy as one of the strongest, arguably one of the best celestial wizards in the universe for Fairy Tail. 100%. Okay? And 100 Years Quest took that a step even further for Lucy. Took an even bigger step for Lucy. Because you see 100% what she's been able to showcase. Okay? With the Star Dress combos, that was one. And then what she did in the Great Lab. I say great. What's the lab? Yeah, it was the Labyrinth Arc. What she did in the Labyrinth Arc, I still thought was super impressive. That was straight out amazing. You go from that, you see what she was able to do, you know, against Mercphobia, just earlier on in this arc, actually. Now, granted, that was a team up from Brandish. So it wasn't like Lucy soloed Mercphobia on her own. She needed help from, an ally. And that's what happened. She teamed up with Brandish, and together they were able to take down, you know, Mercphobia. It was a team effort. But, and we need to stress on this. We really, really need to stress on this. This line of dialogue right here. The key of the water dragon god. And my expression was the same thing as Lucy. She's like, wait, the water dragon god? Huh? And Mercphobia just lays it out very simply. Very, very simply. He says, it's a key to call me. And Lucy's like, wait, huh? Wait, and Cameron's like, wait, you mustn't. You hardly have any power left. And Merc says, like, no, I have enough to fight temporarily. And Lucy brings up a pretty valid, obvious statement here. She says, I'm a celestial spirit wizard. I can only call them celestial wizards. Like, you can kind of tell she's a bit overwhelmed by this. Like, wait, hold on. I can only summon spirits. This might be a bit out of my reach. But Suichin makes it clear here. He says, wizards who have keys and get their powers from gates are collectively known as summoners. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, that makes complete sense, actually. Like, when you're thinking about the context of the fairy tale universe, and you look at the celestial wizards, they are technically summoners. By all stretches of the imagination, they summon spirits, right? Yukino, summoning spirits. Serana, for a period of time, she did the same thing. But, Lucy, prime example, she summons the spirits, and through the spirits, of course, this is more so like post-Tartarus, but definitely then, she used the power of her spirits to channel in, their power to where she can do with what she, play her part in the role, right? And Suijin's statement, just speaks for itself. Collectively known as summoners. So, think about this, guys. Think about all the feats Lucy has gone through, okay? Summoning spirits, star dresses, the star dress combos, okay? Now, Lucy's about to get to a point where she will have the ability to summon not just a water dragon god, the water dragon god. That's insane. That is, oh my god, I'm at a loss for words. Like, I'm like Lucy right now. I am seriously at a loss for words because, first of all, as a big Lucy fan, this is amazing. Okay, this is honestly amazing, and it really, you can't help but just be proud of seeing the accomplishments that Lucy has gone through over the course of the series, right? And just having this as another arsenal to her ability as a wizard speaks so much, right? And again, Lucy's like, wait, summoners. To which Mercphobia says, you possess that extraordinary gift. I'm sure you can summon a dragon. And of course, like I said, Lucy she's overwhelmed by this. And Aquarius nudges her off to the side and was like, hear that? And speaking of dragons, right? And I mentioned Viernus earlier. We cut back to him. Okay, we cut back to Viernus. And Grady's taking him on. And he's like, wait, ice doesn't work. And I got no Dragon Slayer magic. What am I going to do? Now, keeping this in mind, Athena's still on her way. Because remember when we found out that the 5 dragon gods were being resurrected, right? When we found out about that, Athena did think to herself, hold up, I can play my part for real this time. I have another chance to do what I can. So I do think Athena's going to show up. Number one, I do think she's going to pop up and like give Gray the assistance that he needs. But before that, you see what happens. Gray tries to use his Ice Wake ability. Okay? Tries to do that, and Virenus all of a sudden just vanishes. And Gray's like, wait, where did Virenus go? That behemoth, like he vanished in an instant. And then Virenus. First of all, this shouldn't have been a shock. Okay? This honestly should not have been a shock at all. Given with the ability of each of the dragon gods, right? Again, Mercphobia, Selene, Dogramag, to an extent, Alderaan had it too, to an extent, I will say. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Hold on. Ignia. Yeah, there we go. Ignia? That's 5, right? Viernus. Obviously, 110%. This should have been a no-brainer. This really should have been a no-brainer. But we see Viernus looking slick as a pharaoh, okay? Holy shit. Now, if y'all know me, I'm a big, like, mythology guy, okay? Like, as far back as, like, even, like, going to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Days. Like, I love, especially ancient Egypt. So seeing this was a real treat. Like, this is Viernus. And he looks studly as hell, first and foremost. And Gray's just like, huh, wait, you got a human form too, huh? So, can you talk? Which, he also just got a note that, wait, hold on. Where'd the lacrima go? The one that was on your back, I gotta destroy it. Viernus hasn't talked, okay, at all. He's got his human form, but he's been, like, silent. And he's just making, like, you know, hand gestures and whatnot. Gray's a bit kind of off guard by this. He's like, wait, what? And you see what happens to this tree. The roots from underneath it, okay? The tree itself turned into gold. And that's something Gray points out. He's like, wait, it turned to gold? Like, hold up. This might be a bit more of a struggle than I realized. Wow. I almost lost my train of thought there. Let me see here real quick. But yeah, you see what's going on here. And, dude, the expressions Viernus is given in this human form. Like, he's not pleased. No words to be spoken. And it really is, because Gray, he ends up the chapter by saying this. It's like, I get it, alchemy's cool, but I'm a pro at making stuff out of nothing, you know? And, like, that's where we end off the chapter. That is honestly where we end off the chapter for Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest 170. And let me just say this. When I finished reading the chapter, the very first thing I said was, I need the next chapter right now, because this is insane. The stuff with Natsu, again, huge speculation there. There's a huge speculation circle around Natsu regarding the Prisons of Flames. It's a good speculation, though, as to what that could possibly be, obviously. But the fact that you had Fortune talking about, like, the power within Natsu, and I do believe 100% that's related to ENT. I do believe that. 100%. Then you have the stuff with Lucy. The stuff with Lucy. Now she's going to have the ability to summon, the water dragon god. I think is already. If Lucy was good enough already, she is definitely, like I said, and I've said this throughout the stream, taking it to another level. She's taking it to a whole other level when it comes to this chapter. Okay, like even again, you look at where Lucy was at when it came to the early parts of Hunter's Quest. Okay, like we thought the star dress, like the cross star dress combinations were amazing. Okay, what she did in the Labyrinth arc was like, whoa, holy shit! To get to this now, oh my god, to get to this, says it speaks volumes. It really, really speaks volumes for her ability as a combatant. Now, the question I do have to ask is this going to be a permanent thing for Lucy? Like, will she be permanently be able to access, the dragons for, the foreseeable future? That's what I question. But it's a good questioning. It's the kind of question where I'm like, I do wonder how much of that will actually be a permanent thing, or is this going to just be for this arc? You know. But either way, what we're getting with Lucy, incredible, love it. Okay. Then there's the stuff with Gray and Vierness, which is just as awesome. Okay. And again, Gray's struggling. I did kind of call this. Gray was going to have a bit of a struggle against Vierness. But this dude in his human form, looking like a goddamn pharaoh, love it. Okay? I think it looks amazing. And Vierness, I do think it's going to give Gray a run for his money, 100%. But much like how Lucy had a bit of a struggle, with Mercphobia and with Caramel before Brandon showed up, right? The second Brandon showed up, things were going to be fine. I do think, and we were already alluded to this, because Athena mentioned it when we found out about the Dragon Gods. Athena is going to come in to assist Gray. And that tag team combination is going to be a really interesting one, to say the least. Now, how long do I think this fight's going to go on for? Well, like I said, if we look at the fights itself, right? Technically speaking, Volume 19, we started this off with what? Like the last fight, it starts with 168, and it what was it 167? I want to say 167. Let me see real quick. So yeah, 167. Either 167 or 166. Let's say, okay, yeah, 166. So we started from 166. And it went all the way up until 169. Ultimately, that's where we had ended off. So similarly, I would say that this fight here with Gray and Vierness, do I think it's going to end next chapter? Definitely not. No. You're not ending this next chapter. What I most likely think is going to happen is we are going to focus a little bit, if not a good half of the chapter, maybe 3/4 of the chapter, will be dedicated to Viernus and Gray. Now, because it's going to be the penultimate chapter of Volume 20, two things could happen. Either you cliffhanger the chapter with Athena showing up, or either that happens in 179 or that happens at the end of chapter 180. One of those two is going to be a thing. But I will say, I think this volume ultimately is going to end with whatever was troubling Ignia. Like whatever got his attention, we're gonna get that reveal when volume 20 ends. And if you really look at it, that's only 2 more chapters. So we're not that far off. And let me think here real quick. 2 chapters, right? So yeah, start of next month. Yeah, no joke. Start of next month. March 4th. That will probably be that'll probably be when we get our answer as to what it is. But overall, when it comes to this chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just say it right here, right now. It is straight up pure perfection. It is a pure perfection chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest. Can't wait to see for what's to come. I mean, listen, if you've got me saying I need the next chapter right now, you know you're doing something right with the series. Because it shows you the anticipation, the love, like the enthusiasm one has, right? Right in here, right now, Lucy Gray Natsu, it's gonna be a real treat. It's gonna be a real treat. But at this point, I'm kind of just rambling on, you guys. Let me know what you guys' thoughts were on Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 178. How do you guys feel about what's going to happen with Natsu, with the Prison of Flames? With Lucy now having the gate to summon the Water Dragon God. And of course, Gray's situation with Viernus. How do you guys think all that's going to go down? How do you think things are going to go down with Wendy and... Oh my god, Celine, yeah. Took me a second. Celine, how do you think that's going to go down? And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm LuckyRave. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more fairy tale content here on Mashima content. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Laters.